Tonight at 5, the governor calls on lawmakers to end partisan gerrymandering. How assembly leaders on both sides of the aisle are responding.
The First Warn Weather Team, we've been talking about the chance for thunderstorms this upcoming Friday for a week. Some of those storms could be severe. The latest on alert day conditions in just a couple of moments.
Plus, what advocates hope to achieve by showcasing the homeless experience as more people in Madison are living on the streets. You're watching News 3 now at 5.
And good evening. Thanks for staying with us.
Gas prices continue to climb amid the Trump administration's war with Iran.
Yeah, the price of gas in the U.S. soared 11 cents just overnight. That is the largest one-day increase since Hurricane Katrina. That was almost 21 years ago.
The average price for a gallon of unleaded gas right now is $3.11. In Wisconsin, that number is $2.86, and that's up nearly 10 cents from yesterday and more than 30 cents from a week ago.
As for what's happening on the ground, we know 6 U.S. service members have died. Their names have not yet been released publicly. News 3 Now has confirmed with the Wisconsin National Guard that some of its members were involved in the Trump administration's operations over the weekend. A Milwaukee woman whose husband is deployed in the Middle East is sharing how the deployment has affected her.
I honestly have not spoken to him in quite a bit, and what it has been really sporadic. We have 3 young children, and I'm more concerned about them not understanding what's going on and when is dad coming home.
And we will continue to provide updates as soon as we have more information.
Let's turn now to your forecast. Our First Warn Weather Team has been tracking potentially the first severe weather of the season for almost a week now.
That's right. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington joins us now with what we can expect, Alex.
Yes, alert day conditions are expected Friday. Going into Friday night, this is not just a daytime event on Friday. We could have several rounds of thunderstorms Friday morning, going into the afternoon, and lasting into the nighttime hours. And nighttime severe weather is never a good mix because conditions, of course, are dark. What we're expecting as we go into Friday night, greatest threats would be strong gusty winds, also hail, but I want to be abundantly clear that the threat for an isolated tornado, we can't rule that out, and there will be some heavy rain with those thunderstorms. Now tonight, quiet, a little bit of patchy fog, not too bad. Temperatures in the upper 20s to right around 30. That's about 10 degrees above normal for the very beginning of March. And as we march into Wednesday, highs in the low to mid 50s, maybe a couple showers towards the Wisconsin-Illinois border. That round of showers and a couple rumbles of thunder we will track when I come back in a little bit, and we're going to talk all more about that set of alert day conditions coming up for Friday. That's in just a few minutes.
All right, Alex, thank you. Highway 51 and the Dane County Regional Airport could both be getting a makeover in the next few years.
Well, Maya Tate has more on these proposals. Maya?
Well, Eric and Susan, right now planes taking off from the Dane County Regional Airport head south, causing noise pollution to those neighborhoods. But a new proposal may help reduce noise and add more safety features to the surrounding area. The Dane County Regional Airport is working with the Wisconsin Department of Transportation on a plan to expand the airport's runway while also moving Highway 51. The desire to expand the runway comes from a long-term need for more space. Bigger, heavier planes need more space, and right now the airport is limited in how to support those needs. The expanded runway proposal would extend the space north, reducing noise pollution in the neighborhood south.
By taking off to the north as well as the northeast of the airport actually reduces the level of noise on the more residential areas south of the airport.
And the proposal comes at the right time. The Department of Transportation has been planning a reconstruction of US 51 as a part of an environmental assessment made in July of 2025. The proposed area would affect the intersection of Highway 51 and Hanson Road, where the DOT says they would like to add a traffic signal and a shared path if the realignment is confirmed. These proposals are still in the discussion phase, but for more information on the proposed plans, the DOT is hosting a public involvement meeting on March 16th at Madison College.
Maya, thank you. Despite adjourning last month, lawmakers in the state assembly will return to Madison. Governor Tony Evers today called them back to the Capitol for a special session. The governor is requesting representatives pass a constitutional amendment ending partisan gerrymandering in Wisconsin.
Fair maps help force lawmakers to put politics aside, work together, and find common ground to get good things done for our state. And I think most Wisconsinites would say that's a good thing, because that's how government is supposed to work. And I am with them.
Lawmakers are set to head back to the Capitol in April.
Although the governor can call a special session, he cannot force the assembly to vote on his proposal.
And that means that lawmakers can gavel in and out within seconds, as they have done in years past. Brady Mallory is here now with reaction from lawmakers so far. Brady?
Well, the governor told reporters last week he's heard pushback from both sides of the aisle, including his own party. Here's what lawmakers are saying. Assembly Speaker Robin Vos says the governor's proposals lacks detail on how the amendment would actually work, but says Republicans are supportive of the concept. He says this: "We would be more than happy to negotiate with him to develop a plan to be voted on by the entire assembly." On the other side of the aisle, Minority Leader Greta Neubauer says Democrats remain committed to supporting and redistricting process where the voters' voices can be heard. However, Neubauer did not explicitly say whether she supports the governor's proposal. For an amendment to go into effect, it must pass both chambers 2 sessions in a row, then be approved by voters. So even if legislators in the assembly advance the governor's amendment, we're still a ways away from seeing an end to partisan gerrymandering. Susan, Eric?
Brady, thank you, and we'll keep you updated on the latest from the Capitol right here on News 3 Now. To receive notifications directly to your phone, simply download the free Channel 3000 mobile app.
A group of Wisconsin schools, parents, and nonprofits are suing the state legislature.
They're saying lawmakers do not fund public schools adequately. Our Tanasia Shaw joins us now with more. Tanasia?
Yes, several school districts are involved in this lawsuit. Adams Friendship, Eau Claire, Green Bay, Beloit, and others. They say the current state funding impacts students. In Wisconsin, the state guarantees every child has a right to basic education without tuition. The coalition says this is not happening because schools are not properly funded by the state. Educators say this is causing districts to constantly go to referendum. Earlier today, I spoke to the superintendent at Beloit School District, who says if something doesn't change, school districts will have drastic changes.
Have been suffering because the district has failed its last 3 referendums. So we are continually cutting. In fact, right now, I am preparing a budget. We're probably going to be down about 200 students. So I'm going to have to cut over $5 million from our budget in order to balance it for the next school year. That means there's the individuals and programs that $5 million can buy will not be here next year. That's the impact.
There was a similar lawsuit that came before the state Supreme Court in 2000. Then judges said the state funding plan was constitutional.
Tanasia, thank you. No one was hurt after a fire that happened at Lambeau Field this afternoon. The Green Bay Metro Fire Department says the sprinkler system and crews were able to distinguish that fire. It was contained in a locker room. It's not the locker room of either the Packers nor their opponents, but there's a third auxiliary locker room where this fire happened there. The smoke and fire damage, the extent of that damage remains unknown at this time.
Today, local advocacy group Urban Triage hosted Seen and Unseen. It's an event bringing awareness to the experience of homelessness.
News 3 Now's Jalen Banks joins us live now from the Capitol Square and how local organizations are helping those in need. Jalen?
Eric and Susan, a recent survey by the city of Madison shows that the city's homeless population is growing. Earlier today, I caught up with local advocates who were showcasing the experience of what it's like to be homeless in Madison and how them doing so is a way that they hope to showcase a way to help the city's homeless population. Tuesday, many gathered around the Capitol Square for Seen and Unseen, an event aimed at shedding light on the struggles of those facing homelessness by allowing participants the opportunity to live out the homeless experience for a day.
This problem is not separate from each individual in society. There's a lot of intersectionality, and homelessness can happen to anyone in this society and community. So it's not a separate problem from what they're facing. It's something that all of us should join together to solve.
In a recent survey by the city of Madison, those experiencing homelessness in the city increased year over year since 2023. And in 2025, just under 800 people faced homelessness, something Madison Police Chief John Patterson says the department takes notice of.
As you pointed out, a growing segment of our community. We're just trying to better connect with them, better serve them, and hopefully rely less on citations and arrests to get to the root causes of any issues that they may be facing.
And in Tuesday's event, an organizer who's faced homelessness themselves hope that people will finally see what the root causes of the issues are.
I felt their pain. I've lived the pain. I've broken down in that shelter. I've had panic attacks. We are still human beings. We deserve to be treated like human beings. And even though I'm not in the shelter anymore, I still want to help.
Now, if you at home would like to get involved and help with the City of Madison's homeless population, we have ways that you can do that right now on our website on channel3000.com. But I'm going to send it back to you guys in studio. For now, reporting live from downtown Madison, Jalen Banks, News 3 Now.
Jalen, thank you. There are just a few days left to help us make sure that new parents in southern Wisconsin have everything they need. Babies and Beyond is partnering with us once again for our annual community baby shower. We're looking for diapers, clothes, wipes, pacifiers, anything a newborn baby would need. And you can drop off your donations between 9 and 4 through Friday at Babies and Beyond. That's at 1922 South Stoughton Road.
Ahead at 5, a fan favorite at the Vilas Zoo is back.
What one local leader hopes people will experience when they visit the Tundra Buggy.
Today it was nice. There's some warmer weather on the way, but not too long from now there could be alert day conditions. Alex returns with what to expect in his full forecast.
On Wall Street, sharp losses due to the war in the Middle East. The Dow shed more than 403 points. The Nasdaq loses 232. The S&P down 65 at the closing bell. We'll be right back.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Moving forward.
We're back with more local news. The Henry Vilas Zoo's Tundra Buggy is back up and running. It was closed for the winter for a makeover that included updated interior design and some new educational signage. The buggy is right outside of the polar bear exhibit, which was designed in 1979. The vehicle was originally used by Polar Bears International to research the animals in the Churchill Wildlife Management Area.
When you go in there, kids and adults alike will be able to see and touch and imagine themselves being part of the greater world around.
The buggy's reopening comes shortly after other exciting news at the zoo, the arrival of polar bears Nora and Siku.
Well, now that the NFL Combine is in the books, the Packers should have a better idea of who they want to draft. But what about keeping their own current free agents? That's the next big part of the offseason. And our Packers senior writer Jason Wilde has more details.
Around the NFL, we're seeing a number of teams move on from veteran players who had been under contract and announce that they are being released. It happened today with the Arizona Cardinals and quarterback Kyler Murray, as they have a new head coach, Packers head coach Matt LaFleur's younger brother Mike, and they're going to start over at the quarterback position. We've seen the Minnesota Vikings say that they're going to move on from Aaron Jones and Javon Hargrave. Aaron Jones, obviously a former Packers running back. All's quiet on the 1265 Lombardi Avenue front for now on some of the decisions GM Brian Gutekunst has to make. But he also knows that he has a number of free agents from his 2022 draft class who are about to become free agents, and those decisions will also have to be made. We're less than a week away from the negotiation window opening for free agents to talk to other teams. And the Packers, as a draft and develop team, want to keep the guys they have.
We're always going to be a little bit of a draft and develop team, right? That's always going to be the bread and butter. I think the system is set up that way with the salary cap that that's the most advantageous way to build a football team. But every avenue is going to be exhausted to try to make our football team the best we can be. So I think we look at every situation, and how that affects our team. And if it makes sense to do that, we're going to do that.
Now, it's possible that the Packers won't retain any of their own free agents. If that ends up being the case, they could plan on a bevy of compensatory draft picks in 2027. That won't help them get better in 2026, of course. We'll have more on how the Packers choose to fill the holes in their roster and who stays and who goes on our website, channel3000.com. And while you're there, make sure you sign up for the Packers newsletter, which delivers our coverage directly to your inbox. In Green Bay, Jason Wilde, channel3000.com.
Jason, thank you. Things warming up in the days ahead. Some thunderstorms coming in with it. Alex, keeping a close eye on Friday in particular, right?
Absolutely, Eric. In southern Wisconsin, we've been talking about thunderstorm chances for the better part of a week. These thunderstorms could be severe, not just garden variety storms. We're looking at the potential for hail and gusty winds for all of southern Wisconsin Friday going into Friday night. Let's break it all down here. Again, the main threats right now appear to be strong damaging winds and the potential for large hail, and 2 rounds of severe weather are a distinct possibility on Friday. And before I leave this graphic, I do want to emphasize we cannot rule out the potential for an isolated tornado, and also there will be some heavy rainfall with these showers and thunderstorms. Here's how that plays out. Look at widespread showers and thunderstorms late morning hours to the early afternoon hours on Friday. That's as a warm front lifts north into southern Wisconsin. Then we keep our eye out on the cold front that comes through Friday evening, possibly lasting into the overnight period, meaning thunderstorms could be still rumbling about the area as we go into the wee hours, the early morning hours of Saturday morning, and then the entire weather system is out of here by the time we get to about 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning. Anytime we have nighttime thunderstorm threats, that always has me a bit on the urgent side, because nighttime thunderstorms, sometimes you can't see, obviously with it being dark, sometimes it's hard to see without lightning if there's any distinct severe weather features. But what we're keeping an eye on here is late morning storms with that hail threat. Early afternoon, we may have a brief break, and then we keep an eye out in the evening and overnight as that cold front comes through, with gusty winds being the main threat, but we can't rule out the potential for a brief isolated tornado. Now, we have shower chances before that impactful weather system on Friday, the stormy conditions Friday, and the good news is it's going to be warm. That's certainly a plus, at least, but sometimes we got to pay the price in springtime with warm temperatures, especially early in the spring for severe weather. Here are those showers as we go Wednesday night into Thursday, advancing from south to north across the area with a rumble or 2 of thunder. We can't rule that out as well, but we're not expecting severe thunderstorms at all with Wednesday night going into Thursday's chance for showers and thunderstorms. That main severe weather threat is going to hold off until Friday and Friday evening. Tonight, temperatures mid to upper 20s. That's about 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Can't rule out a little patchy fog as well, and highs well into the 50s on Wednesday. The more sun we could get warmer than 51 in Madison. We may do mid 50s with those shower chances near the Wisconsin-Illinois border advancing in. Thursday, those showers end, highs up near 50. There's that high of 61 Friday, and that high may not be reached until we get into the early evening hours. So rising temperatures throughout the day as that warm front moves through, with the potential for 2 rounds of severe weather Friday, late morning, early afternoon, hail the main threat, and then in the evening and overnight, the potential for gusty winds. We can't rule out an isolated tornado. Then we spring forward with spring-like temperatures sticking around Saturday and Sunday. Look at Monday, 64 degrees. Some places could be mid to upper 60s with another impactful weather system. We'll have to keep an eye out for alert day conditions Tuesday going into Wednesday for showers and thunderstorms, mixing with and changing over to some wet snow on the backside as we go into Wednesday. And think spring. I think the geese here are saying, hey, I'm liking this view here. Nice basking in the sunshine here. That lake, though, is going to be up against the warm temperatures and the rain. Joe, thank you for sending us this photo here. Scan that QR code in the upper left-hand part of the screen so we can get your photos. And all the photos also show on channel3000.com/weather. But definitely be tuning in all week as much as possible. The very latest in alert day conditions. We will be first to let you know of any changes.
All right, Alex, thank you. And still ahead at 5, primary elections are underway in 3 states across the country today. Why all eyes are on Texas.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Moving forward.
In national news, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem testified before a Senate committee today. It is the first time she's testified before the Senate since federal agents shot and killed 2 people in the Twin Cities while they were there for an immigration crackdown. In addition to criticism from Democrats who won't fund the DHS until White House agrees to make changes to ICE, one Republican senator called for Noem's resignation. He says Noem has mismanaged the department while trying to meet White House deportation goals.
We want 1,000 a day, 6,000 a day, 9,000 a day because numbers matter, right? No, they don't matter. What we've seen is innocent people getting detained that turn out are American citizens.
When questioned about the midterm elections, Noem said there were no plans for ICE agents to be at polling places come November.
Drone footage shows excavators in Iran digging rows of graves for victims of the girls' school attack. Iranian media says more than 160 were killed in a strike on the school on the first day of U.S. and Israel's attacks. Secretary of State Marco Rubio says U.S. forces would not deliberately target a school. As strikes continued today, the president defended his decision to use force.
We didn't do what we're doing right now, you would have had a nuclear war and they would have taken out many countries because you know what? They're sick people.
Congress is set to vote on resolutions that would require the president to get their approval for any continued action.
Well, the midterms are officially underway with primaries today in North Carolina, Arkansas, and Texas. All eyes on the Lone Star State where voters are casting ballots in the most expensive Senate race ever. Longtime incumbent John Cornyn and two other Trump-aligned conservatives are vying for the Republican nomination. If no GOP Senate candidate wins at least 51% of the vote there, the race will go to a runoff in May. Meanwhile, Democrats are choosing between two young progressive candidates, Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico.
Stay with us. Alex is back with a final check of the forecast when we return.
Coming up tonight at 6, we'll have the full story of how a new proposal from the Wisconsin DOT could help reduce aircraft noise in residential areas in Madison.
Well, this week, fans, judges, and cheesemakers are gathering at Monona Terrace for the World Championship Cheese Contest. They're trying almost 3,400 different cheeses from around the world. And while the title hasn't been won by an American cheesemaker for quite a while, the Wisconsin Cheesemakers Association is hoping this year will change that.
There are a lot of American makers who are crossing their fingers, saying their prayers, and hoping their best tops the rest.
Members of the public, you can go to Monona Terrace from 10 to 3 for samples, and you can watch the judges in action. It's really fascinating to watch, actually. The competition ends on the 5th, so we should have a new world champion cheese by the end of the week.
How have we not won in some time?
Because the Swiss cheeses and a lot of the European cheeses are tough to beat.
I think they're just, we can't give it to the home team. That's one of those
well,
deals.
maybe. Yeah, you might be right.
Quick final check, Alex.
Yeah, if you didn't catch earlier in the newscast my projection on alert day conditions and showing future track, please tune in at 6. I'll have the very latest on the potential of severe weather.
All right, thank you, Alex, and thanks for watching tonight at 5.
We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6.